Leading soldiers is probably the most rewarding thing in the life, taking care of them. They are essentially an extension of your family. Signal Corps is a pretty old branch. We provide the ability for military units, commanders, to communicate effectively on the battlefield.
I love watching him lead. His forefront of his thought is always for his soldiers, and that's something that I greatly admire in his character.
I went to a friend's wedding, and that's where I met Morgan. We got married. The way the military works, as soon as I got here to Texas, found out I was going straight to Korea again for another 9 months. We had some issues getting pregnant in the past. We had, unfortunately, 2 miscarriages. That was a pretty heavy hit to us as a family because that was around the time we found out Morgan had lupus. Right when, I was about to leave, we found out that she was pregnant. Being away, it was one of the hardest things. I'm not there to help her get through it. It was incredibly difficult.
So by the time we got to the active labor, Julian was facing upwards, and he ended up having his cord wrapped around his torso. So they went through with the whole C-section, and when they removed him, I remember hearing the baby's unresponsive.
Yeah, he didn't breathe for the first 6 minutes. The blood had caused significant sepsis. His hands and legs were blue. They rushed him to the NICU to resuscitate him.
And they thought he was going to have all sorts of neurological problems.
You're expecting your crying baby and you don't get that. And that was the worst moment of my life. At the time, he had a large hematoma on his head, and they were like, it should recede. It'll take maybe a couple weeks. There could obviously be brain trauma that could cause long-term effects. When her father came to visit, he had been to Lourdes. He sprinkled some of the Lourdes water on his head and over him. And we came back the next morning, and the whole hematoma was gone.
It's really nice to be able to come to the source and being able to give thanks for that, and the fact that he is my little miracle baby.
The other day, we brought him down to the fountains themselves, and just seeing him play in it, he was just splashing and having the best time. It kind of clicks. It's wow, I went from 18 months ago not even knowing if he was going to be alive to here he is playing in the water that healed him.
With Lourdes, there's a welcoming love there. The great thing was, after the baths, when the skies opened up, I had this energy that I hadn't had the entire trip. And I was able to go and be with my family and walk around, and I felt the strength to do that. It makes me feel like it's gonna be okay.
You can see it on the faces of everybody that was there. Complete strangers from all over, and yet you see them experiencing the same feeling you are, and it's beautiful. It's such a familial energy. It doesn't matter where you're from or what uniform you're wearing, we're all in this together.
I think my biggest takeaway is just trust in God more. And I think Lourdes really kind of hammered that home. It really was a message let me take care of you for the future, for tomorrow.